Good day, everyone. I am Aubrey C. Marriott, a Level 3 Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering student, and I'm here to talk about the General Survey Guidelines. So, before we start our discussion, let's have an overview. There are many textbooks which describe strategic approaches to survey design, and there are semi automated tools available on the web. Example given are Google Survey Tools, Survey Monkeys, and etc. So, what is a survey design? Survey design is the process of creating surveys to get responses. The general rules are summarized in the following sections. Rather than asking questions, surveys should seek the reaction of the respondents to carefully worded phrases or sentences. Survey instruments like survey questionnaires, consist of several sections, which will be seen in figure 6.3. So here in figure 6.3, we can see the major components of a survey instrument. So first will be the survey title. Of course, we should put the survey title so that our respondents can know our topic. The second one will be the introduction. So here in the introduction, we outline the reasons for the survey theme, the ethics approval number, research contact details, timelines, and etc. Next will be the instructions. Of course, instructions are very important so that we can avoid mistakes, right? So here in instructions, it's either we circle or highlight one response to each of the following statements. Next to that will be the survey statements. This is where we can see the word dead phrases or sentences about our topic, about our research. And this is where we will also find the scale used. And we will further more discuss that on the next slide. So the next one will be the demographics. So demographics refers to the data about the features, characteristics of an individual or a population. So here we have an example of a demographics. So we have here the age, the highest level of education, the employment, the house, or the workplace. So this what compose the demographics. So we also have here some numericals that identify the demographics. So it's either if you are on the age of 18 years old, you highlight that. If you are on 18 to 25, in between that, then you will highlight or encircle that one. So as for the highest level of education, we are in university degree. So we also highlight that one if you are a college student. And if you have employed full-time, then you will choose here if it's either you are already full-time employee for 1 year, 1 to 5 if you are 5 years employed or more. So next one will be the open statements. So open statements, what do you consider the best? So what do you consider the worst? So that will be furthermore discussed onto the next slide. Now let's start our discussion. Section 1, Introduction. This is an explanation of the reasons for the survey. Assurances that the responses are anonymous and details of the time and place where survey results will be published. Contact details and ethics approval number must also be given here in introduction. So why should we conduct survey? In survey, you can collect informations about behavior, needs, and opinions. You can also use this to find out attitudes and reactions to measure the respondent's satisfaction, to gauge opinions about certain issues, and to add credibility of your research to your research. So here also we assure our respondents that their responses are anonymous and well protected. So now we are down to section 2. Section 2 is all about the instructions. These are instructions to the participants about how to complete the survey. For paper surveys, respondents might not provide all the information sought. Some respondents will leave some statements without a score, so that is a possibility if you have a paper survey. On the other hand, in web surveys, the researcher can ensure that all sections are completed by making it impossible to progress through the survey until every statement in every section has a response. So I guess everyone has encountered that through Google Form because that is one of the tool we have used to have an exam or have a survey conducted by our seniors. So I have here an example of a web-based survey. So I guess everyone is familiar about Google Forms, right? We use that during our online classes if we have examinations or long quizzes. And we are not new to this. I also use that for registrations or surveys if you have one. So here in Google Forms, the red asterisk is an indication that you must answer that question or that statement. If you don't, you can proceed onto the next number or next statement or sentence or question. So that is why in web surveys, you can really ensure that all questions or statement about the survey will be answered. And now we are down to the third section, which is the statements. Respondents should rank their answers to the survey according to a 4, 5, 7 cold Likert or a 10-point scale. The scales are usually outlined as follows, but before that, what is Likert scale? So a Likert scale is a rating scale that quantitatively assesses behaviors, opinions, attitudes. It is made up of 4 or more questions that measures single attitude or trait when responses scores are combined. So it is outlined as follows. So we have here in 4-point scale, the rating scale will be from strongly disagree, disagree, agree to strongly disagree. In 5-point scale, we have here strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, to strongly agree. So the difference between the 4-point and the 5-point is that the 5-point have a neutral opinion, neutral view about the topic, about the statement. Now in 7-point, strongly disagree, we have here 1 to 7 rating scale. And in 10-point, we can choose from scale ranging to 1 to 10 if we strongly disagree or strongly agree about that statement. So clearly, the 4-point and the 10-point scale do not allow the respondents to return a neutral view. Either they agree or disagree about that certain topic. The 5-point and the 7-point scales do allow a neutral view or undecided answers. For some statement, for some statement, it might be appropriate for the respondents to make no comment rather than commit a view which will bias the result. So, this requires an additional response column for not applicable, no opinion, don't know responses. So the next slide is all about demographics. Respondents' profiling statements are used to characterize the responses of different subgroups in the population. For example, age, height, years of employment, gender, and etc. might all be possible reasons for a particular view to be expressed in the survey responses. So what is demographic? Demographic information refers to the data about the features or characteristics that define an individual or population. Obtaining demographic information is both important and advantageous in helping researchers to better or further understand the populations of interest to the research. It is important to be mindful that demographic information is personal. It needs discretion, and some topics might be sensitive in nature. Phrasing demographic questions needs to be always respectful and neutral as possible. So note that for anonymity and ease of data processing, it is best to characterize the responses to these questions using ranges aligned with the same numerical scale used in the statements. We should see in section 3 to the next slide. For example, the demographic statements to be selected at the end of a 5-point survey. As you can see, I have here an example about demographic. So we have here the age, the highest level of education, the year of employment, and the wages are same as the numericals of the survey statement that was explained, that was discussed onto the previous slide. So we can understand it by looking at it. We have done we have conducted researches when we are in senior high school. So we are not new to this, right? Last but not the least, section 5. open-ended questions and comments. The research team can learn more about thoughts, backgrounds, and motivations by inviting responses to open-ended questions and comments. Assuming this and that is the topic of the survey, the open questions and comment might include these. List the best attributes of this and that. List the worst attribute of this and that. Give one or more examples of a positive experience using this and that. Give one or more examples of a negative experience using this and that. What needs to be done to make this and that more widely acceptable? So these are one of the questions or the statements or open-ended questions and comments in our surveys. So open-ended questions are best for qualitative research. Help unearth information that can potentially bridge the gap between your opinion and people's expectation. So that is the reason why we have this. And that would be all. Thank you.